Hello Starbright, welcome to another video, and for today we will be discussing the education funding, how to sell education funding and what questions you need to ask and master when you are about to sell education plans. So simulan na natin sa first part. Of course, what we do is we make sure that we are in a coaching conversation wherein we would like to understand the goal of the client. Dapat goal nila, hindi goal natin, so that we don't product push. And then we get to determine what they already have. So, point A and then point B, di ba? Gusto nilang pumunta rito sa goal nila. So we want to understand their goal, we want to understand where they are, and then usually may gap yan. There's a gap in between that we can address. When that happens, it's easier for us to understand that what are the needs of our clients, and then understanding that they need our help for them to be able to achieve their goals, especially education funding. So the first question that you can ask your clients is that, where do you want to send your kids in college? And then you can ask more questions. Siyempre sasabihin niya probably Ateneo or LaSalle or UP, UST, wherever that is. Maybe you can ask, why do they want that? May course ka na ba naiisip? So this is a chance to build rapport and then understand their values. Usually sa mga millennial clients naman, they know that their kids are empowered, diba? So kumbaga, the kids will be able to choose when they would want it, but of course they need to prepare for something. No, so after doing that, after understanding that, you got to ask the second question, that would you know how much tuition fee today? If this is Ateneo, if this is LaSalle, UP, UST, if they want to send them abroad, do they have an idea already what will be the annual cost of tuition? Tuition pa lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. So you need to get the annual cost and then multiply it by 4 or 5 years, depende kung anong course, di ba? So pag engineering, 5 years. Pag the regular can be 4 years. Pag doctor yan, probably you need 10 years. Diba? So just to show you the annual tuition fee as of 2020, we got this data from manimax.ph. So you can see that Ateneo, 190,000, De La Salle, 230,000, UP, 50,000, UST, 150,000, and the rest. No, this is in range, pero kinuha ko na yung medyo upper echelon because it's better to plan for a bit higher, di ba? Kaysa kulang yung masisave mo. So you can use this. At least you already have a tuition fee. You can even show this slide to them, diba? You can get the copy from me, or you can screenshot this video, diba? So you can use this, and then we will be using that to really project and get the total of the cost of education. For example, if the annual cost of education is 150,000, so parang 75% kung semestral yan. So in 4 years, you just multiply it by 4, 150,000 times 4 is 600,000. So for the whole college or university ng anak, gagastos si client ng 600,000 sa tuition pa lang. Wala pa yung pa-dorm, baon, etc. So 600,000 just to start with. And then after that, knowing now kung magkano yung kailangan niyang tuition sa panahon ngayon, now you can ask the third question, which is, how old are your kids? Kasi we will use this to know gaano pa kahaba meron siya to prepare. So, you get the names of the kids, sulat mo siya, ano yung mga pangalan, ano yung birth dates nila or ilang taon na. Because when we have that, we will be able to project the future tuition. Now, we will use the rule of 72. Ang sabi ng rule of 72, whatever interest rate or inflation rate you divide to 72, yung answer doon, that will be the number of years the money or the cost will double. So, let's use 7% annual tuition fee increase. This is a good average. May mga years na hindi nag-i-increase masyado. There will be years na 10% or 12% increase. So, I think 7% is something that is justifiable. We can say that 72 divided by 7, it's about 10. So, approximately about 10 years, magdodoble yung cost of tuition. Kung 150,000 yan ngayon, 7 years from now, it will be 300,000 a year. So showing this illustration, kunyari 3 years old yung anak. Kunyari yung anak ko, no? So let's say 3 years old yung anak ko si Dylan or si Mason. kung 150,000 a year, 10 years from now, magdodoble yung cost, magiging 300,000 per year na, or in 4 years, 1.2 million yung kailangan ko sa tuition pa lang ng isang anak. No? Ngayon, hindi pa naman sila magka-college at age 13. Magka-college sila at age 18 because of K-12 already. So plus another 5 years, parang half of it. Hindi man na-double yung 300,000, half of that yung madadagdag. No? So 150,000 yung half ng 300,000, so parang times 1.5. So ang magiging cost of education by that time will be 450,000 or 1.8 million in 4 years. So sabihin mo sa client, ito po yung magiging cost per anak, per child. So kung dalawa, you will be needing 3.6 million. Kung magkadikit lang naman yung age, pwede nang pareho, no? Hindi na kailangan masyadong i-compute. So you can estimate that in terms of the number of years. You can also use the TVM, the time value of money, or the easy calculator. You can see if you use the easy calculator in your iPad, in your cell phone, diba? If you type in 600,000 sa present value, and then 7% yung tuition fee increase, the inflation, and then 15 years yung period annually, sabihin 15 years from age 3 to age 18, makikita mo dyan, no, nasa 1.6 million, almost 1.7 million yung future value niya, meaning the 600,000 pag pinroject mo 15 years from now, it will be around this much. So kita mo, it's close to the basic projection that we did na sample computation, and then if you can use TVM, that calculator, if you know, and you should know how to use it, then it's really close. So pwede mo gamitin din yan. So you gotta repeat the process per kid if you would want, lalo na kung magkakalayo yung ages, like 4 years apart, 5 years, 7 years apart. But for me, kung 1 or 2 years apart lang, maybe pwede nang you just multiply kung yung cost per kid, di ba? So, but the goal is to add per kid, total mo lahat ng tuition para malaman mo yung goal niya. Kunyari sa akin, if 1.8 million yung per kid sa dalawang anak, I'll be needing 3.6 million. Yun yung kailangan kong pag-ipunan for 15 years. Yun yung goal. So, nakakakaba. The fourth question would be, so you gotta show, now based on our projection, this is the amount of education funding we need to prepare for your kids. So for one kid, 1.8 million. Kung 2 kids, 3.6 million based on the computation. Is this what you want to prepare for? You gotta confirm to the client. For me, I always do that. You make them agree with what you say. Because when you say it, it's sales talk. When the client say it, it's gospel truth. Right? So that's the goal. You always want to make sure that the client agrees with what you say before you proceed to any presentation. That's my style in selling. That's what you can also do, especially if you're, if you really want to build a good relationship with your client. And you can also hold them accountable to what they say. The fifth thing that you can ask is, of course, yung point A na. Na-establish na natin yung goal, point B. Now you can ask, what have you started for education funding for your kids? Ano na bang nasimulan mo dyan? Right? So, you can project or estimate din yung future fund noon kung meron na. Let's say, meron na akong sinisimulan sa insurance company rin. 10 years to pay 20,000 a year. So, kung 20,000 times 10, that's 200,000. Okay. So, pwede mo siyang i-multiply. Like, sa 10 years mo, magkakaroon ka ng 200,000. Ito yung nasimulan mo. Depende sa level ni client, kung gusto niya i-inflate mo ng konti, meaning mag-grow yung pera, so you let him or her decide, madodoble ba to, times 1.5 ba, ilan yung kikitain niya in 10 years time or in 15 years time. Diba? So you can just rough estimate that. Sabi mo na magdodoble, yung 200,000 times 2 mo na. So yung hinulog niya na 200,000, naging doble, naging 400,000. Sabihin na natin, nag-invest sa stock market, wherever. So meron siyang 400,000. Ang goal niya, let's say sa one kid, 1.8 million. Diba? Because of that, you will be able to compute the gap. We go to the number 6 question. Right? Based on what you need for education funding, let's say 1.8 million sa isang anak, and what you have now, sabi mo magiging 400,000. Sabi mo, sir, so you tell them. So sila nagsabi, 1.8 million minus 400,000, may gap pa po tayo na 1.4 million. Do you agree that you need to save and invest more funds for them sa anak nyo po? So, oo, kailangan natin yan, sabihin lang yun. So, and I think the reason why they're talking to you, they recognize kulang pa yung meron sila. So, just to show them, this is our way of helping them understand magkano yung kulang. Right? So, when you be able to compute the gap, may need na-establish mo na yung need. Nakuha na natin yung buong coaching process of goal, point B, and then the reality, point A, and then ano yung gap in between, no? Yung hollow part doon, yung bangin, kumbaga, if you were looking at na may bridge. Right? So, knowing that, you can now say, no, since, sir, education funding is your priority, is it okay if I show you a plan to address this need? And then you can now pull out a VUL plan natin can address a client's need. So, pwedeng ganun. Compute ka, estimate mo, probably if 1.4 million yung kulang, 15 years from now pa, maybe I will just divide 1.4 million divided by 15. Ganun siguro muna, no? Or, so it will be around 100,000, a little less than 100,000. Tatry kong pakita yun. Bakit? Para hindi ako nakadependent sa kita sa interest rate, di ba? Kung kaya niya mag-save ng 100,000 a year for the next 15 years, eh di makakaipon siya ng 1.5 million. Bonus na lang yung tutubuin sa plan natin. Pangalawa, malaki rin naman yung benta mo. It's a win-win scenario. Now, kung hindi niya kaya, medyo mas mababa ng konti, then pwedeng mag-haggle, pero definitely hindi minimum yung sisimulan niya. Malaki yung chance for that. If medyo kabado ka sa ganon, then maybe you can also ask another option that you can ask to establish kung magkano yung gusto niya will be how much are you willing to save today in order to start for your planning for the education of your kids. No? So, pag nagsabi siya ng amount, o sige, 5,000 a month, so times 12 mo yun, 60,000, then you can create a VUL plan na around 60,000 a year. So, ganun siya kasimple. So, just a few reminders again, that's our process in selling. Ang goal mo, number one, establish the goal, yung point B niya. Pag nalaman mo na yun, alaman mo yung point A niya, ano na yung meron, and then subtract mo lang yun, no? So, goal, 1.8 million per kid. Point A, pwede siya makaipon ng 400,000, diba? So, 1.4 million yung balance, yung gap. Then, we can address that through our products. So, in closing, you can use the education dilemma. I learned this from Sanjay Tulani, no? So when you draw a line like this, yung college education or yung college goal nasa gitna. Sabihin mo, sir, ma'am, in education planning, it's whether you save now and earn interest. So makita mo, umaakyat kasi nagsisave ka unti-unti. Or you may borrow money later and pay interest. So ibig sabihin, paano kung hindi ka nakapag-ipon and then kailanganin mo ng pera para sa education and then enough lang yung sweldo mo, yung kita mo sa business for your needs. Hindi kailangan mo manghiram ng pera, no? Credit card, whatever, and then you pay interest pa. Better yet, plan now. So if you like this video and this education funding video, if you learned a lot, let us know in the comment section in this video. And of course, make sure to also like our Facebook page, that's Starbright Financial Advisors, for all the updates, all the recognitions, and the marketing materials that we have. Just go to facebook.com/StarbrightFA. And also, don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel for our Starbright Financial Advisors YouTube channel. All the learnings and all the updates that we can record in the video, even recorded product training, will be uploaded in this channel. We have a lot of playlists here that you can choose from, and then you can binge watch while you're resting, before you go to sleep, early in the morning, in your free time. So with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.